Well, hello, Dawn here from Seasonal Designs. I feel like it has been quite some time since we've put together a container, or at least it's been a while since I've done a container for you. So I thought today we would put together something that we can utilize anywhere in our homes. So you can put this in your kitchen, in your bathroom, maybe on your dining room table, wherever you need a little pop of life and a little pop of color. So let's walk through the items that you're going to need for this project. The first thing you'll need is a vessel of some sort. I have chosen a basket. You don't need to choose a basket. It could be a container, it could be a pitcher, it could be an urn, it could be a clay pot, whatever you decide. I really liked this basket, and this basket is multi-purpose. I really love this thing. It actually is kind of two-tone color with the brown at the bottom, black at the top, but it has really cool handles, and I use this for other things as well. But for a tabletop piece, what I like about this is that this top part is very pliable, and so I can just simply fold this down so the handles fit into this basket just like that, and then it looks like that. So I really like this. Now, the one thing you're going to need if you're using a basket is a liner. It's 12 inches across, it's about 3 inches deep, which is going to keep my soil and my water from running through and getting my basket or my tabletop wet. The other thing that I'm going to use are Paperwhites. And the nice thing about Paperwhites is you really don't have to force them. That means they don't need a cold period. You simply can buy the bulb, plant them in soil, and they will start growing. Now, the one tip I can give you if you are going to use Paperwhites is that when you plant them in the soil and water them in, put them in a cool, dark place for about 7 days, 7 to 10 days. And what that does is it is going to allow the roots to grow first, which is going to give you a sturdier Paperwhite. And it also makes them a little bit shorter, I find, because the greens won't grow then until you bring them out into the sun. So then bring them out into the sun about 7 to 10 days later, and you'll start seeing the greens. And then before long, you'll start getting the little pods here, and that is what is going to open, and this will be covered with little white flowers. You could also use hyacinth bulbs, you could use tulips, you could use daffodils. The rest of those are going to need a cold period before they will sprout for you. The other thing that I have chosen is some really pretty willow branches, and you can see it has a wonderful color, and that is going to go in this container as well. The last two items that you're going to need is going to be some potting mix, which I have right here. And I'm going to start by putting a little bit of the potting mix into this lined basket. And then the last thing you'll need, or I like to use, is some moss to cover the dirt. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is pull these out of their container here that I planted them in. There we go. Oh, and look at the roots. I want to show you the roots. This is, I feel, what happens when they get a really good start. They get 7 to 10 days in a cool, dark place. Their roots grow first, and then they put on their growth at the top. Now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have to take a little bit of dirt out of here. I feel like it's just a hair too high right here in the center. So I'm going to take a little bit of this out of here, because I don't want this to be too tall. And then I'm going to, in fact, I might even pull some of these apart. I definitely am going to pull apart this one and kind of fill in, but I don't really want it to look like it's just a big circle. So I'm actually going to pull these apart. So that is fairly easy to do. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Let me put this over here for a minute so that you can see. So you just kind of are going to come in and you're just going to kind of gently muscle them apart. And believe me, they'll be fine. They do have a lot of roots, so you want to make sure that you do take some roots, but see how easily they come apart? That way I can put these in separately so they don't really look like they're growing in a circle. And oh my goodness, did these have a really good root ball. So you just kind of want to easily kind of tease these apart. You want to make sure you leave some roots on them. So I'm going to have to do this to the other one as well. Oh yeah, gosh, these have some roots. All right, here's your mussels. Gently pull. You'll notice that I did line my table with some plastic, and boy, am I glad I did. Look at that. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful root ball. These are so awesome. Look at that. All right, so now once you get one, they start to come apart a little bit easier. So I'm going to take these all apart, every single one of them, so I can plant them kind of loosely where I want them. So I have both containers all pulled apart, and both of these containers have great roots. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start placing these into my container. And I am going to want to place them really close, and they were growing rather close together. And so really what I'm going to do, you can see this one I have two together, and that's fine. But what I really didn't want was to just have one big clump that I stuck in the middle and then filled around. I think it just would look too obvious, like it was one big clump and that I filled. This is just going to be a little bit more natural looking, and I can really put these any way that I want. And again, I'm going to put them pretty close together because I really kind of want to pack this. So I'll be using some smaller ones to fill in, and I'm simply going to layer these in. And then you're just going to fill in. And you want to pack it around the bulb so that they stay firm. But being careful not to get it really outside of the plastic liner that you have inside. And you want to tuck it in. You really want to pack these in well because the dirt is what is going to hold these guys in place. I have all of my bulbs planted into my basket, and then I did clean up my mess. So we are going to come back now and we are going to finish up. The next thing that you're going to want to do is give this a good drink. And I have already done that, is just to give it a good drink of water. And then I'm going to add my green moss. So what I'm going to do here is I am just going to break this apart and start adding this in. And this is going to cover up the soil and any of the bulbs that might be peeking through. And you're simply going to go around and tuck this in. Now the last thing we're going to do is we are going to add our twigs. And I wanted to add something in here. Now again, you could use other things, whatever you have. What I really wanted to find was pussy willow branches. And I couldn't find any. So you're just going to start adding this in. You're going to have to push it in there through the moss. And these can be really whatever height you want. So if you want them a little shorter, you could go in and cut the bottoms off of some of these. But I am kind of liking this height here that I have going on. And you could put as many or as few as you want in here. And just kind of play with the look. Well, that's it, guys. 3 items is all it took to put together something so lush and pretty. I just love it, and I hope you do too. I used Paperwhites, I used green moss, and I used willow branches. And of course, finding the right vessel to put it in, I think really helps as well. I think this basket is just perfect for this combination. If you guys decide to put something together, please take photos and email them to me. I would love to see some of the things that you guys are putting together. I've gotten some comments and I've gotten some emails of people telling me that, you know, for the first time in their life, they put together a winter container because of one of the videos that they saw me do. And that is why I'm doing this stuff. And I think that is so awesome. So if I inspired you and you guys put together something, please send me a photo. I would love, love, love to see them. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.